can't believe it.
At least it's not me in that car, you know?
I can't believe it.
Not fun for Joe. Got it.
Oh my God.
It's kind of a time to not really know what to do, so.
I don't know what happened. At random, too. Why? I don't get it.
I don't have any answer. How old is Brian?
He's 19.
He's 19.
What's going on, man?
Not much. Cooperate. I am going to cooperate.
Okay, so parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
Like, for real human head and hands?
Yes.
From?
That fellow who went missing recently.
Which fellow was that?
Warren Brown.
Warren Brown? When did he go missing?
The night of the 27th.
The night of the 27th? Okay, and how did you end up with him?
I murdered him.
With what?
A knife.
Why would you have done that?
I've always wondered what murder felt like.
2021, Grand Junction, Colorado. It's the first day of March, and Warren Barnes, a 69-year-old man known to hang outside of Monique's Bridal and Formal Wear on Main Street in downtown Grand Junction, hasn't been seen since Saturday, February 27th.
If you've ever been downtown, you guys would see him. He
looks
walks
familiar.
Main Street.
Yeah,
he's
Brett
always
probably knows him if he's talking to him.
he's always on Main Street, just with his backpack, just walking and coming down to the shop to sit in his chair, pretty much.
How do you know Warren?
I own Monique's Bridal downtown, and I give him a chair to sit and read his books.
Is it a homeless gentleman?
He's not homeless. He stays in a place. He pays for a room every day. He comes back in the shop because we keep his chair inside the shop to deter other people from sitting in it behind my shop.
The woman speaking with police is Monique Lenati. Her business has been mainstay in downtown Grand Junction since 1995. Monique and her daughter spent time getting to know Warren over the 4 years he's been a fixture behind her shop. He loves reading, feeding birds, and eating Subway sandwiches. To outsiders, he may have appeared unhoused or out of work, simply because he wore the same clothes every day. But Warren is different.
He works for a company that does just like temp agency, and they were the ones that actually contacted me because he's never missed work, and they know that he sits behind my shops.
So every morning it's around 6?
Yeah.
Without fail?
Without fail.
7 days a week?
Yes. He is there every morning.
All by himself?
Yeah.
Those who know him quickly take a shine to his kind and gentle soul.
And he's the nicest guy ever. Rough looking, but he is the nicest guy.
And
he buys Pall Mall Red 100s every day and a donut.
Warren Barnes is quiet and never bothers anyone. He passes the time reading books, so the locals dubbed him the Reading Man.
But I know he goes to the library a lot as well, because he, like I said, he reads books.
Loves to read.
And Warren has a routine, one you could swear by. So when he didn't show up to work on Monday morning, March 1st, his employers at the temp agency were concerned.
what raised concern with you today to report him missing?
Because the place People Ready called to see if I had seen him because he didn't show up for work, and he's never once not shown up for work in the 4 years he's been working for them. So I said no, and that I hadn't seen him since Saturday. I don't know, I just have a really bad feeling because it's unlike him. And that's the weird thing is I said, I'll see you tomorrow. He said, I'll be here, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I didn't even think about it when he wasn't there, really.
Does he ever have anybody sit and read with him or
No.
next to him? Has he mentioned talking to anybody?
No, he doesn't associate with a lot of the transients because he's not like them. He's very intelligent. I don't know why he's homeless. I never really got into why he chose,
I'm sure you asked him. Did he ever talk about his family or where he came from?
So he has, I believe, at least one child, but they don't talk.
Okay.
And he said that they talk maybe once every 3 or 4 years on a holiday, but that he hasn't spoken to
So he
them,
probably didn't go for a visit.
No. He wouldn't have, and if he was, he would have told the People Ready place he wasn't going to be there for work. He was very all about having that so he could afford his place to stay.
With no family that she knows of to call upon, Monique decides to start searching for him on her own. She posts a picture of Warren on her Facebook page asking people to be on the lookout. Meanwhile, 5 miles across town, something odd had been unfolding over the weekend. In the Colorado River, just off the Blue Heron boat launch, a car is partially submerged in the water. The driver, 19-year-old Brian Cohey, had accidentally driven his 2007 Ford 500 into the river and was in over his head. Literally. So he called his parents, Brian Sr. and Terry Cohey, to come to his aid, and they called the police for further assistance. The tenor of the scene just off the Redlands Parkway is lighthearted. Everyone's laughing and joking around, even though it's in the middle of the night and it's dark and freezing.
Yeah, we made him wait till he was almost 18 before he got his driver's license because we didn't want him having any accidents like they do when they're 16 and 17 and
Gotcha.
doing stupid things.
This your son right here?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, partner, you want to come out and talk to me real quick?
Sure, I mean,
Appreciate it, man.
I'm really cold. Is it okay if it's in here?
Because his pants because he had submerged.
That's fine. I did not know that. No, that's, please stay in the car. All right. Nobody else in the car?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
no, it's just us. I'm the father. That's the mother. And this is our son. He just
Sounds
called us 20
good.
minutes ago and said, "Dad, I parked at the boat ramp and I messed up. I tried to get out of the car and it slid down."
Well, you're not hurt, right? You're okay?
No, just a little
Okay.
cold is all.
Beside your pride a little bit?
And probably $7,000.
Okay. All right, man. Do you have your ID with you, driver's license by any chance?
I do. Thankfully.
What were you doing down here, bud?
Well, I felt like I needed to get out, and I figured, why not park here and just
relax a little bit?
Relax and think.
Okay.
And I parked on the boat ramp, and I thought it would be easy to get out. But when I tried to,
Where did you park exactly? Were you down the hill a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
And then
When he got back in, go ahead.
when I got back in, I tried to put it in drive, and it didn't go up. So then I tried putting it in low gear, shimmying it a bit. That didn't work.
Were you facing down?
No,
at
I
this
was
point, or were
facing.
you
I was
facing
facing
this way?
up.
You back down?
Yeah.
Really good
Because that seemed like the easiest one. Because of the propulsion of the rear tires, I figured they would be able to push.
Okay.
But yeah, then.
Okay.
Yeah, then it slid into the river. I was able to get out.
Because I was like, it's not a crash. He just
it's like
parked
8 feet
it
out in the water.
He parked it and basically couldn't get it up. It just lost traction, looks like, and then he actually went in it. Down in the water. He's not hurt at all, so I'm like, how are you gonna get this car out if possible?
Does he need to stay here?
I'm sorry?
Is he free to go? I'm sure he'd like to go home and get warm.
I'm sure he'd like to get some pants on.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's not a crash. It's
okay.
a simple
It's
mistake.
just a stupid act.
So,
Yep. All right, I'm going to take him home then, and then we'll come back here and see if we can figure out what's what with the tow truck driver.
son has no pants on.
After taking Brian home to put some pants on and warm up, the Coheys returned to the scene at the boat ramp around 3 a.m. And this is when things take a turn. The crew recovering Brian Jr.'s sedan from the Colorado River has just spotted something troubling.
Hey, quick question for you.
Sure.
So the back bumper, I don't know, you can probably see it from here. It's a lot of red on the back of that. Yeah. Dripping down it all a little bit. Right underneath the license plate. A little area right there. Okay.
Okay.
A lot of red. Which means it looks like blood.
Blood?
Yeah. I don't know if did your son hurt himself on his way out at all?
He might have, he just didn't know it. I don't know.
That's why I'm asking. That's a good question. He's at home. Is he make sure he's not got a cut or
He just said he's going to bed.
something out on him somewhere that he's not aware of? Maybe because his adrenaline was a little high. Maybe just have him do like a self-check. Make sure he's okay.
Hello?
Brian, are you okay? They see blood on the back bumper of the vehicle.
Really?
Yeah, did you get hurt?
No.
Are you sure you don't have any injuries?
No, I'm fine. There's blood on it?
We're not sure.
We're not sure. It's a red, something red
It-
underneath the license plate.
Similar blood stain.
Oh, no.
All right. But you're not injured. You don't have any cuts.
No, I don't know what would cause blood or whatever it is on the bumper.
But you're not injured.
No, I'm not injured.
Okay. right,
Freezing.
I'll call you back.
Ooh, it's cold.
Is it good? My car good?
No,
No,
Brian, they're
it's-
trying to get it out. They got to rehook it and try it again.
They're having trouble getting your car out, buddy. All right.
We'll call you back.
Call you back in a little bit. If I can send a message on. Bye.
I got to move my car.
Charging is there.
I got to move my car for the driver.
Okay.
The car is finally removed from the Colorado River, but the blood is still piquing the interest of everyone on the scene.
What'd they say about us looking in the trunk?
They're good with it.
Okay.
The officers are unable to get into the trunk. Brian seemingly locked it before driving it into the water. The car is released back into the custody of the Cohees the next morning. Brian Sr. decides to clean his son's car. After all, it had been in the river for hours and badly needed it.
So I'm like, okay, I hope I can get this car started for Brian. He's got to work. So right away, I popped the hood, unhooked the battery, because it was dead, tried to charge the battery. I started going through the car, vacuuming out all the water. Did as much as I could Saturday. Went back out there this morning, just to continue. And I opened the glove box, and there was a knife in the glove box, underwater.
Okay.
The glove box was full of water. Very large knife.
Okay.
And then, as I go around the passenger door, I open the passenger door, and there's a wallet in between this door and the gun or whatever.
Okay.
And I open up, that's not Brian's wallet. It's frozen solid. I'm like, oh my God, that's not Brian's wallet.
Between the blood on the bumper, the knife, and the stranger's wallet, Brian Sr. had some questions for his son.
Okay.
But first, he makes a phone call to a company whose business card was found in the wallet.
That's not Brian's wallet. So I take it inside, and I ended up getting one of the wads of cards out. It's a labor ready. I read that, so I called labor ready, and then another one. There was a social security card.
Okay.
I was like, hey, this is a weird call, but I've got a wallet here with so-and-so's name, and I'm hoping he works for you all, or you subbed him out or whatever. Oh, yeah, my one, we've been missing him. Yes, he didn't show up today. I'm like, oh, my God, now we've got a missing person. Okay, well, I found his wallet at Blue Hen Program. So here's my name, here's all my information. If you get a hold of him, tell him I've got his wallet here at my house. Okay, so I left that like that.
Brian Sr.'s next phone call is to Brian Jr.
Call Brian. Brian, what's going on? Why is there a wallet in the car? Oh, I found it down at the book ramp when I was down there walking around.
Okay.
And he was so sincere. I took it all. I want to believe him. He's my son. Sure. You found him. Well, fine. How come, and all this going on in the last 2 days, well, how come you didn't tell us about the wallet? Dad, I was just so excited with all the going on. My car getting towed because it's wet now. It won't start. I just didn't think about it. I didn't think it was important, Dad. I'm like, Brian, who is this one, whatever guy?
Mm-hmm.
Dad, I swear to you, but bottom, I only know one. He's my school friend. It's not him. I believe him.
Unbeknownst to Brian Sr., his wife Terry, who operates a child care facility out of the home, is almost simultaneously making a chilling discovery in her son's room.
And then I started working on my house, doing some drywall repairs, just doing other things. Left the car alone, didn't let it dry out. And my wife called, get over here right now. Drop everything, leave right now.
111 is John. What's the address emergency?
Hi, there is an emergency. I found something in my son's closet wrapped in a plastic bag.
Okay, what was it?
I think it's a human head.
It's a what?
I think it's a human head.
Why do you think it's that?
Because it looks like it's all an ear.
Is it bloody or does it like anything like that?
I just need you to come. So I had to take a picture and send it to you.
What's the address?
Come?
Is your son there now?
He just pulled up. We wanted to make sure he was here before we called.
How old is he?
19. He's had a little bit of a fascination with the morbid, but he was channeling it, I thought, into becoming a crime scene investigator, but not so much.
Do you think he's going to be cooperative with us?
I don't know. I don't think he'll be violent. Just came back from his friend's house.
Does he have any weapons in his room, or do you guys have any in the house?
I don't know. I think that he has a shotgun, but we can certainly remove it immediately before he gets in his room. He's out by the car now, so.
Is the bag still in the closet?
No, it's in my kitchen sink. And there's a secondary bag that I have not opened.
Officers from the Mesa County Sheriff's Office respond to the Cohey residence on South Broadway. At this point, all the children in Terry Cohey's daycare have been picked up by their parents. Outside the home, at the end of their gravel driveway, Brian Sr., Terry, Brian Jr., and Brian's brother Andy await police.
Okay, so parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
Like, for real human head and hands?
Yes.
From?
That fellow who went missing recently.
Which fellow was that?
Warren Brown.
Warren Brown? When did he go missing?
The night of the 27th.
The night of the 27th? Okay, yes. And how did you end up with him?
I murdered him.
With what?
A knife.
Why would you have done that?
I've always wondered what murder felt like.
Okay, where did you do that at?
Underneath the bridge.
Which bridge?
The one past.
Okay.
Near the weird intersection.
Okay. Do you have anything on you that's going to cut, poke, hurt, stick me anything without reaching for nothing? Don't reach for nothing.
My phone and my wallet, that's
okay.
it.
Well, I'm going to have you face that way. Put your hands on top of your head for me real quick. I just want to make sure you interlace your fingers for me real quick, all right?
Go ahead. Phone?
Okay. How do you know this guy?
They told me that was what was in the wallet.
What do you mean that was?
No, Brian, how did you come across this
How'd
guy?
you come across the gentleman?
I was driving.
Uh-huh.
And I saw a strange shape near the railway.
Uh-huh.
So I parked my car and investigated it.
Okay.
And I found it to be a man sleeping.
Okay. Where's the knife at?
It is in my sunken car. Well, it's in my car.
I had that
previously sunken.
This is going to be an investigation, and I'll take it from there. Okay.
So, did that happen when you crashed your car? Or is that totally different?
That's related, but a different event.
Okay. How's it related?
Well, when I killed him, I tried disposing of his body by putting it in the river. But I parked too low in the river. And
where's the rest of his body at?
Huh?
Where's the rest of the body at?
What parts?
The body, Brian. Where's his body?
Down the river.
Okay. I'm going to have you walk over here. You're going to sit in the back of my partner's patrol car for a minute, okay? Not yet. Okay. Just sit back there and hang out for me, okay?
200-pound, 6'1" Brian Cohey is cooperative and polite, if not a bit awkward. The female officer from the Mesa County Sheriff's Office helps the 19-year-old into her patrol car.
How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you? You said your name's Brian?
Yeah. I'm not feeling too well.
You're not feeling too well? All right.
No, these past few days I've been very, very anxious.
That's understandable. So what we're going to have you do here is I'm just going to have you sit in the back here, okay?
Go ahead.
I'm going to turn on the air for you in a second. That way you're not too hot. Are you a hot-blooded or cold-blooded kind of guy?
I am very cold-blooded. I prefer cold. Well, no, actually, sorry, hot-blooded.
Hot-blooded. So you prefer the cold. Okay, fantastic. All right. So hop in here. I know you're tall, so it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but like I said, I'll get that air on for you.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Meanwhile, the male officer needs to go inside the house and see for himself if there actually is a human head in the sink, like Terry Cohey claimed in her 911 call.
Can you walk me inside, please?
Let's walk you off through this, what happened in the beginning.
Okay.
Let me do it. You go inside.
Well, let's stay out here with me for a minute.
Sit down. Come on, sit down, baby.
Can I go in there and verify here first?
Yeah, please. We haven't seen it. Yeah, we haven't
Okay.
looked at it.
It's under the towel in the sink.
Okay.
Yeah, Stay with your mother. Give her a...
Just make sure that guy goes in the car first.
I can stay here. You can go in the sink, right?
Well,
The sink's
okay.
right there. No, you can House is empty.
Okay.
I had a bad feeling about what happened this weekend.
Okay.
And she said there's a bag in this closet, and she opened it up, and she called me and said, get over here right now. I covered it with a towel.
Okay.
I didn't want him to see it because we didn't want him to run. I don't want to look at it.
Yep. 2242, you clear for a call?
Got my water.
All right, I'm giving you a call.
Let me know whenever you want to start.
Yeah, let me get this figured out. Oh, yeah, you might want to call investigations. So, oh yeah, he already, I asked him what was going on. He said, I killed a guy. I stabbed him. That's his head. I dumped his body in the river. So I guess this guy's name is like Warren Brown or something. So, all right, I'm gonna secure the house. And he said there should be hands and the head's in the sink. The body is in the river. So, what's that? Yeah. What's that? Oh, does it sound by my voice that it looks real? It is. So, okay.
After the officer confirms the head is indeed real, Brian Sr. then recounts the story of the last 24 hours again to law enforcement on scene.
He left Friday night, late in the morning. Our phone rings at my house. Dad, this is Brian. My son Brian. Same name, same birthday, January 10th. My firstborn. My car's stuck in the river. Wait, what? So we go there and he gives us a song and dance, how it was a full moon, he wanted to pull down into the water. And next thing you know, since the one-wheel drive, he tried to put it in reverse and the car started sliding, and next thing you know, he ended up in the river. So we get there to pick him up, we call the police at 2 o'clock in the morning. My son put his car in the river. So they called a tow truck company. We called 4 tow truck companies. Couldn't get the car out of the river.
Where's the
saw
car
blood
at?
all over the bumper.
Where is the car?
So we towed it to Scotty's to have it, see if they could fix it. So I called Scotty's and said, "Don't touch it." Okay. I already called him and said, "Don't touch it."
Nothing was taken out of the vehicle.
Yes,
you know.
I did. Yes.
What did you take out of the vehicle?
I cleaned it up. Bottles, everything, incriminating
Do you know
stuff.
where that stuff is?
Yes, it's all at the house.
It's all at the house.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
in a bag.
No, I didn't know this had happened first, so I'm
Understand.
thinking I'm going to get Brian's car cleaned out, we're going to get it all fixed up,
Right.
call Scotty's, they're going to start it up.
Right.
But then things started unfolding.
Okay.
We saw blood on the bumper. We asked Brian, Brian, what's this from? Oh, I think I cut my finger.
Okay.
What else has got on? I found a wallet, so I'm going through the car this morning, and there's a wallet in the car, and I'm like, Brian, whose wallet? Oh, I found it at the boat ramp.
And where were you going through the car this morning?
Because it was at my house. We towed it to my house.
Oh, so now it's at your house.
It's at my house.
It's not at Scotty's anymore.
No, when I found out I couldn't start it, I called the tow truck company, and they towed it to Scotty's this morning.
Oh, it just
So they just got it.
Okay.
Car was towed there, and I'm like, well, I started pulling out bottles, this, and I'm like, Brian, why is there a knife in your glove box? Dad, I don't feel safe.
Okay. So you touched the knife?
Oh, absolutely. But the knife was underwater.
Okay.
The car was underwater.
Right, okay.
So I pulled everything out of the car.
Okay.
And
And
then I
all
found
of that stuff is in your garage
all the
right now?
stuff's at my house.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just, as I was pulling it out, I'm like, what the fuck?
The officers update each other on the new information they've gathered while Terry Cohey sobs in the background.
So he had the car at his house this morning. He took out knife, a bunch of stuff.
Who's?
Brian Sr. His house. I have the
Hold on one
address.
second. Go ahead. I copy.
So I told him we'd hang tight until investigations came, and then he can take them there where all the items are.
Go ahead. No, we're fine. We've got him sitting in a patrol car right now, and it's just the family here, so we're good. I appreciate it. Okay, so where's everything else?
5. He had the car at the house this morning. He pulled the knife, all sorts of stuff. He said there was blood all over.
Okay. Hold on.
You're good.
Car to car or stuck. We'll also have a second address that'll have to either go through on consent or through a search warrant. It's going to be fine. Dad's house. He had the car over there and
Cleaned it out,
unbeknownst to knowing what was going on.
Dad's super cooperative about taking us there and letting us look at. So I just told him we'd wait till investigations got here and just keep him here. They have another location. I don't believe this is their house, or maybe this is their second house.
Yeah, I copied. They're cooperative out here, and our suspect is sitting in a patrol car.
While the Coheys await instructions on what to do next, they have some questions.
I know you guys have a lot going on right now. It's a lot to process, so we'll work with you every step of the way as much as we can.
Yeah. How long till the news company shows up?
We're gonna try to keep that a while, so
Okay.
we're
Yeah,
hoping.
'cause we need to get clearance from you so we can get out of Dodge.
Yeah, don't.
Because I don't want
biggest
to.
thing
We
right
can't
now-
have news in front of me. I run the life jacket program here in town.
Okay.
That's
Biggest
me.
thing is our investigation unit getting
Oh,
here
absolutely.
and talk to you guys. And
Absolutely,
then,
sure.
Like I said, even if news shows up, we're not gonna let them down here.
Thank you.
So
Yeah. Okay.
just focus
Don't
on
let them up there
breathing
either. They'll
and
be able to
kinda-
see stuff from up there too.
Well, nobody else should know about this right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay. So, and again, be careful who you guys talk to, who you
No-
tell
no-
anything.
nobody.
or
You haven't told
anything.
anybody
Nobody knows.
anything?
Nobody knows but you.
Perfect. Same goes for you.
Yeah,
Are
yes.
you family?
My son.
Family,
Yeah. Second brother.
All right.
Second son.
Okay. And your name? Nice to meet you. Sorry, we're meeting this way.
No,
Oh my God, I can't believe
At least it's
it.
not me in that car, you know?
I can't believe it.
I'm for sure. Got it.
Oh my God.
It's kind of a time to not really know what to do. So.
I don't know what happened. At random too. Why? I don't get it.
Don't have any answer. How old is Brian?
He's 19.
He's 19.
110-02.
Mom,
19.
what's your name?
My name's Terry.
Terry. Okay. Are you okay? Do you need any medical?
Well, we're waiting on a call from my doctor.
Okay. Okay. All right. So hang tight right here. I got to chat with my partners again.
Sure.
Okay. Brian, when would you say this? What night did this happen?
No, Friday late Saturday morning at
This this Saturday?
1 o'clock. Yes.
Okay.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Start just this Saturday at 1 in the morning.
For what, the car crash?
Yeah, the
Okay,
whole
no.
incident.
It's now time to take the 19-year-old suspect to the station for questioning.
All right, Brian.
His parents follow the patrol car to the sheriff's office where they will also be interviewed.
I've got one male on board. We're en route to the office.
On the drive over, Brian Jr. makes light conversation with the sheriff's deputy until he notices where they are.
What time is it?
It is 2:32.
It was under this bridge.
It was under this bridge?
Yeah.
Okay. Like right there under the bridge? Or
This side of the bridge. Behind one of these footbridges.
okay. Stuck with. He said it was the bridge here right by the jail. From what he's saying, it sounds like overpass, but we'll clarify.
A patrol car is sent to inspect the area of the underpass that Brian stated was the crime scene. There, officers are quickly able to confirm he was telling the truth.
It's right here.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah. Because there's an arm. Hey.
Good search ever.
There's an arm, there's another arm.
Okay, hold on. Let's do some pictures. Start right now.
There's another one.
I don't have a clue. Okay.
This is like something out of TV.
Yeah. Just having a discussion with the deputy chief about how these kids don't have any remorse. Right, here's a leg. Well, it could be the upper arm or a leg.
Well, there's three. There, and there.
Pieces down there, I mean.
A patrol guide to yellow tape it and then hold it, because the potential is that there's a secondary by the boat launch.
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, we
'cause
can
if
run
you
out
wanna
there
go,
and look at that, and then if you guys, we can just ask for a.
I'm switching to primary, hold on.
But if we can get the lab out here, that would be the best thing.
Yeah, get forensics out here.
After the 8-minute drive to the sheriff's office is complete, the deputy escorts Brian Jr. into the interrogation room.
Is
Dad cooperative?
Everybody's cooperative, including Dad's Brian Sr., son is Brian Jr.
They're ready for him.
Okay, cool. Let me call parents, let them know to park here, and then we'll have someone meet them out front. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is if you can pull into the front of the sheriff's office, and when you do that, you're gonna... Okay, no problem. Okay, so you're just gonna pull up in the front of the sheriff's office, okay, and just park up here at the front, and then we will have somebody, most likely myself, will come out here, and I'll look for you, and then as soon as you guys pull up and are just parked, I'll meet you and walk you back, okay? Okay, sounds good. Just hang tight in your car and then you'll see me come out and then we can meet then. Okay, I'm gonna walk him back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Brian.
Thank you.
No problem, sir. Just walk with me. We're gonna walk right this way, okay?
You're fine with me not being in cuffs.
I'm fine with you not being in cuffs.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, Brian, open this door for me, please. Oh, let's pull it. There you go.
Sorry, I thought
You're
it was
good, you're
locked.
good. Alright, just face that glass right there for me. Walk over for me, Brian. Alright, slow down. You're a big guy. Slow down.
Sorry.
You're okay. So we're going to take it right here. Okay, keep on walking. Yes. Walk through these guys here.
Oh, I should have a mask.
You're okay. Don't worry about it, okay? Keep on walking. Yep. Alright, we're going to take a left. Keep going. Take another left. Hard left. Right here. Right here. Sorry. You're alright. Okay. So have a seat, and we'll be with you in a moment, okay? Thanks, Brian.
The parents arrive just a couple of minutes after their son.
Just follow me all the way down. We're going to have you guys have a seat in here and we'll be with you shortly.
In the interview room, Terry Cohey is understandably upset and anxious. Her eldest son has just admitted to murdering a stranger for the thrill of it. The detective wants to know the question on everyone's mind at this point. What would drive this seemingly non-violent teenager to murder?
Tell me about Brian. Does he have any kind of mental issues or disabilities?
At 5, we were told he had ADHD. Okay. So we put him on ADHD medicine. He detected it during the summer or weekends only when he was in school.
Okay.
In middle school, he started exhibiting antisocial behavior.
Okay.
Just saying things to get kids riled up and thinking it was funny.
Okay.
And the doctor had said, yes, he's ADHD. Yes, he's autistic. Yes, he's this. Oh, and there's some indications that he should get further testing because of potential psychosis.
Okay.
And I asked about referrals and calls, and nobody in town would see him.
Okay.
The only place to go was Denver. And I was like, how am I supposed to just take him to Denver? And so we got him involved with, and she worked with him for about a year, and then COVID hit. And
You know, he graduated high school. He works at, and he's been working there for a year in August.
The detective wants to know more about the medications Brian is on and if he's actually taking them.
And he said he's not taking his medication, or is he on medications now? He's on ADHD medicine. Okay. That he takes before work. Okay. On his part-time job. Okay. And he takes sertraline, which is an anti-anxiety, antidepressant. Okay. So he's been diagnosed that as well. And to the best of your knowledge, is he actually taking them? Like, do you watch him take them?
I don't watch him take them, but I have the alarm set, and every night at 10 p.m. I say, Brian, take your medicine. And he says, I know, I am. Okay. And as I've looked at his pill container, I mean, it's going, you know, seems to be going down. Okay. So I assumed he was taking it.
Okay. What about alcohol or any other recreation drugs?
No.
Nothing like that. When you talked about the school stuff and having lots of issues, what were the issues that they were having that made other kiddos not feel safe?
He would make jokes that were not appropriate. He got suspended a few times, like for behavior that wasn't acceptable. Like this one girl that he knows very well, he knows that she has a lot of issues, and that loud noises frighten her. And so, you know, one of his school suspensions was when he, you know, came up to her in the hallway and clapped really loud next to her, you know, knowing that it would put her in a panic, and she cried, and we were like, yep, nope, you know, that's not how, no. You knew that would upset her, and you did it anyway. And he got suspended for prohibited use a weapon, but it was, there was another boy who brought in nunchucks to school on the school bus, and Brian was like, wow, cool, you know, and I think this was in 11th grade, and so Brian was like, I think Brian had given out some candy to some kids on the bus, and so Brian was like, can I check those out? He's like, I'll bring you in so you could give me some candy. So Brian gave the kid candy, and the next day the kid comes on the bus with 2 sets of nunchucks. One are glass, and the other ones, I guess they're like rubber. I don't know. I never actually saw them. Okay. But so he's like, I know I can't take the glass ones because I'd be in trouble for that. So he took the rubber ones and he put them in his backpack. And his backpack was, I don't know if it was in his backpack or in his jacket. There was some differentiating stories. Okay. But so the teacher saw them and they said, what's that, Brian? And he was like, nothing, you know. And so Bob Omar, you know, he was like, you know, we have a prohibited weapon on school grounds. And I'm like, okay, well, what about the other kid that brought them in? And they said, that kid doesn't have the behavior issues that Brian has. And I'm like, oh, so you're punishing Brian because he has behavior issues. I see. So Brian went through probation and he completed it successfully.
The line of questioning pivots to Brian's behaviors and interests.
How about stuff at home with you and your husband and your other son? Like any kind of violent behavior or weird behavior, like the stuff with
Brian's textbook weird. Okay. You know, I mean, he's always, you know, he's either ADHD and we're struggling with social thinking and social behaviors and learning, and you know, it's always been a challenge with Brian.
But not violent behavior towards you and your husband. What about other kids in the neighborhood or on the bus?
He didn't really, you know, he had a couple of friends that he's had since elementary, but you know, he had a morbid sense of humor and would make jokes, and I'd say, Brian, that is not funny. And he'd go, yeah, it is, Mom. You just don't get my sense of humor, you know. But some of his behaviors that we attributed to autism, like the flat face, maybe isn't attributable to autism.
autism, obviously it's something else. Okay. What about any fascinations or things that he fixates on? A lot of perseveration on crime and crime scenes. And so he was talking about going into the military in the fall, and when he gets out, having your job. And so I had purchased online a crime scene investigation book for him. You know, it's like ones that they could, you probably read it when you first started out in college. And so I gave that to him, and I was like, so here, Brian, you know, let's channel that curiosity into something positive that you can affect a good change in the world. And he's like, yeah, that's my plan, Mom. But you know, he's not going to say always had a fascination. You know, I'm going to say in the last few years. Okay. And is it like shows that he watches, or like tries to do things to create a scene? You know what I mean? Like whether it's like animal stuff or nothing. No, like that. He loves our dogs. Okay. You know, I mean, he's very affectionate with our animals. And, you know, he would watch, you know, like just last week he watched Silence of the Lambs. But I was like, well, he's 19, what sure, you know. Probably all watched it. I watched it. It doesn't make me a serial killer, you know. Is there anything else about Brian or the last couple of weeks? No, he's always, you know, sometimes he's affectionate, you know, and every night when I say, I love you, Bugs, and he says, I love you too, Mom, you know, and he gives me a hug, and, you know, he's at work when he's supposed to be at work. He's never, I mean, other than his behavior issues in high school, it's like there's never really been, like, anything legal that was, you know, that was a problem, that I was like, uh-oh, you know. When they did his testing, and forgive me because I don't know all of the exact language and stuff, but like on the spectrum of his autism stuff, did they kind of give you a range, or did they say we think maybe based on some behaviors they said he was high functioning, you know, that he did the IQ tests well and blah blah blah. That they said, but you know, in going through this, I think that it would be beneficial if he received further testing. And I said, okay, who do I go to? And they gave me a couple names, and I called them, and they said, nope. And then I said, okay, who else should I call? And I called them, and they said, nope. And I said, who else should I call? And I called them, and they said, nope. And there was nobody else to call. Okay. And this services, is she just kind of doing some basic counseling type stuff? She works specifically with autistic children. Okay. And so we were referred to her from, okay. And, you know, like I said, he was doing group, going in to see her once a week, and you know, and because of everything going on in school, you know, we said, you know, we don't feel like he's a danger to other people or to us, you know. Maybe himself, if, you know, something happens, but, you know, and I was like, do you think he's a danger to others? And she goes, well, from the discussions we had, I can't really make that determination, but... So he must have been going to her for quite a while then. He was seeing her for about a year. He had been seeing her for a year and a half, but he wasn't making any progress with it. Things just kept getting worse and worse. Behaviors were worse. Like I said, there's never any violent outbursts, never, you know, just a fascination with some things that I thought we were channeling properly, and, you know, his morbid sense of humor, and But I was like, well, Stephen King's got a morbid sense, you know, and he's a freaking millionaire writing books, you know.
Brian Sr. is dumbfounded by the situation he's found himself in.
Our kids are both doing good. They're okay in school. They don't drink or smoke. So I didn't really have no warnings that this was going to happen.
But he quickly realizes that this is not an accurate picture of his son.
He's obviously sick. He's obviously very sick. We've noticed weird things about him. Some days he gets cold. Just he looks at me and he has this cold look on his face. And I can just tell that, I don't know if it's from his friends that he's hanging out with or what, but...
Tell me about some of the, I know he's had some issues in school, but tell me about Brian from his childhood
very
growing up.
He was good growing up, but I think they diagnosed him early in elementary school with ADHD because he would, he had trouble meeting friends, trouble talking, doing funny things. So he was always kind of on his own. He was a loner. He had friends, a certain amount of friends, but he wasn't like, hey, he wasn't accepted very well. In school, he wasn't accepted, I know that, but he's got friends that he hangs around with, respectable friends, and we just thought, but it just seems like not friends that would ever, not those kind of friends.
Sure.
Clean, good friends.
Okay.
The worst they have is they play video games. They drink too much Pepsi. That's my only complaint when all his friends come over. They stay up too late. Okay. None of them are, I don't know what happened. I don't know why, what made him go, and I'll never know that question. I don't know how many times you want to ask me. I don't know why, who, when, where, I don't know anything. I'm just as in the dark about this as you.
Still, Brian Sr. maintains there was not a single sign that anything like this would ever happen.
Never been physical at all with any family members. Mom, Dad, Brian, dogs. Never any not a cool bone in his body. Never, ever, nothing. As far as his friends know, he's never been in a fight in his life. Okay. He's never hit anybody. He's just like his dad. I mean, I've never been in a fight, man. I thought just saw he's going to be a spin-off of me. Because he's non-violent, but he's not. I don't know what's going on now. Everything's different.
By the end of his time in the interview room, Brian Sr. laments the loss of his family's reputation in the community.
This is too much for me. I have the same name as my son, and now this has happened. I need to move to Mogadishu or something, because I can't. This is going to kill my family. How do I know this guy's family's not going to come after us?
Well, I mean, there's lots and lots of.
I don't know how this is going to unravel.
Sure.
For the sins of my son, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
And my wife is just a mess.
I mean, just take it one day at a time. That's all you can do anyway. And I know there's lots and lots of unknowns and lots of stuff we don't know. It's going to take us days and weeks to sort things out. So try not to panic in the meantime and think too far ahead. Let's just think about...
No, you guys are in charge right now. Terry and I have decided we can't do anything until we're out of this. Until you guys say, okay, you are released. Right now we can't do anything.
Well, and...
we can't go anywhere. I'm not working anymore. She can't have any more kids anymore. Everything's over. It's all done now. It's over. Our lives are totally over. She runs a licensed in-home daycare. She can't have a license anymore.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, okay. Well, her parents, when this hits the news, all the kids are going to be pulled out.
Maybe.
So yeah, everything's going to go belly up here. So if things are going to change, I don't know how it's going to change, but I got a feeling Grand Junction is no longer going to be our hometown because my name's been trashed.
In another room at the Mesa County Sheriff's Office, Brian Cohey Jr., now under arrest and charged on suspicion of first-degree murder, has waived his Miranda rights and is ready to talk with investigators. They waste no time getting straight to the point.
How did you get here?
I murdered someone.
Okay. But how did you get to my office?
Well, the police drove me here from my mom's house.
Okay. You said you murdered someone.
I did.
Did you know the person?
No.
No?
No. I was driving one night. I was in a, shall we say, bad state of mind.
Okay.
I saw a strange shape by the railway tracks, so I investigated, and it revealed to be a homeless person sleeping. Well, I presumed homeless, because he was there.
Okay.
So, I stabbed him to death.
Okay.
Then decapitated his head and hands and arms.
Okay.
I then took the head and put it in my car trunk along with the hands in bags, plastic Ziploc bags. I took it back to my house, cleaned off the knife, tried to hide the head and hands, removed the trash in my car that was stained in blood. And then I tried sleeping. However, I was quite stupid, shall we say, because I decided that's too much evidence. The body needs to be dumped in the river. So I took the body in the trunk, drove it to the Blue Heron drop-off point, and unsuccessfully dumped the body as I parked too low down the ramp. The ramp is mud and dirt, so unless you have four-wheel drive, you're not getting out. And I was unable to get out, and my car flooded. Let's see, I killed him just after 11, February 27th, 2021. And then I dumped the body. I tried to dump the body. I'm trying to remember the time exactly. It was 1 a.m.
Okay.
And yeah.
So that sounds fascinating.
What do you want to know?
To start back at the beginning and go slow and tell me as many details as you can remember.
So, because I mean, I'm already going to jail for this 15 years probably.
I have no idea.
Because
we're at the beginning.
It's murder. I mean, I'm going to jail for 20 probably, but so I figured, why fight it?
Okay. So what's important to me is to learn as much about you and what you did and as I can.
Well,
as many details as you can give me, the better.
I drive a 2007 Ford 500.
Okay.
And I keep a small 18-inch bat in there for self-defense.
Okay.
And a large kitchen knife in the glove box, both for self-defense, because I don't really trust anyone, or really any part of this town, so that's why I have both. And, let's see, yeah, it was the night of February 27th. It was a full moon, and I figured I could see so well, why not drive out? And I am in a bad state of mind at that time. I have major depressive disorder, so I am not thinking, I shall say, positively.
Okay.
And I'm cruising around for an hour and a half. I fill up on gas halfway through, and I'm eventually driving underneath the bridge near the sheriff's office. You know, like how... Can I?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
There's a road underneath, right? Out under the overpass. And I was driving along, and I see a shape here on the railway track. So I'm like, oh, interesting. So I go up, and as I'm looking, I see a large thing wrapped in a canvas.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a homeless person. So I grab my knife, I put on 3 layers of gloves, because plastic gloves can betray their users because they're so thin, those vinyl gloves, by putting your fingerprints through. So I put on 3 on one hand. I took the knife, I pulled back the canvas, and I stabbed his neck.
Okay.
He was panicking at first in his old man voice. He was in his 50s. I know why I call him old man. He was saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Ah!" And I just kept on stabbing his neck. This is okay if I do a demonstration.
Oh yeah.
This is him. I was strapped on top of him like this.
Okay.
And he couldn't fight back. It was actually surprisingly easy. I was barely breaking a sweat. I thought, oh, this guy, he's going to be tough. But no, it was actually surprisingly easy. And during the time I was growling and making animalistic noises.
Why were you doing that?
I suppose it was a frenzy.
Okay.
I was so excited, so rushed up on adrenaline and everything. Just, woo-hoo. And I paused and he said, "Why are you doing this?" And I said, "I've been wanting to do this for a long time, murder someone." And then I continued. The whole ordeal lasted about a minute and a half.
Okay.
And I stabbed, and when I was finished stabbing him, he took out his last breath, a grunt, and his head was halfway cut off in stabs. All the while, no, actually, after I killed him, I just couldn't stop saying, stinky, dirty, dirty, stinky, stinky. It wasn't. I wasn't smelling anything, but...
And why were you saying that?
I don't know.
Okay.
And,
But you remember doing it, so...
Yeah. I suppose it was just me speaking out my mind at that moment. It was a pouring out of the mind.
What are you worried about? I mean, this looks like it's pretty close to the road and stuff. Somebody seeing you or catching you?
It was 11 p.m., so not many were driving by. Well, it was behind the pillar. So, like, here's the road. It was here. So people would only see a brief thing here and here.
So were you worried about them seeing you?
I was worried about one of them stopping. But
what did you think could happen if somebody...
Well, if they looked, well, it was quite dark under there, so they wouldn't have seen the guy unless they looked. They would have seen me holding a bloody 12-inch knife, wearing gloves, and wearing a mask to conceal my identity, a face mask.
Okay. So you weren't doing it for COVID, you were doing it to hide your face?
Partially. Social distancing. Right. Yeah, but no one stopped. And I'm just like, proves the bystander effect.
Nonchalantly, the killer goes into chilling and graphic detail about what he did to Warren Barnes' body. We'll spare you the gruesome details. He then tells the investigators what he did with the various body parts once he was home with them.
And then I left his body there. And then I took the head, put it in a leftover pizza box from the dinner a few nights ago. And then I took the hands, put them in the back, drove home, hid the hands and head in my room, cleaned the knife, threw away the garbage with the blood on it, and then put the wasn't stained, it had splatters on it. I put it in the dish, in the washing machine.
What did you put in there?
I put the outfit I murdered him in a washing.
Wearing, or?
Yeah, I was wearing.
Okay.
In a washing machine, put it on high speed so it would effectively remove the blood. Washed it twice. And then I tried going to sleep, but I was worried that because there was a hole in my gloves right here, I was worried that they would be able to obtain a partial print. So I figured, why not go all the way? I drove back in a different outfit, picked up his body, surprisingly heavy, put it in my trunk, and drove to the Blue Heron drop-off station.
Okay.
I parked, so it's like this, right? So let's say this is the ground. The ramp is quite steep, and you need to have four-wheel drive to pull out of it.
Okay.
And my car didn't. I thought, so I pull in, I thought that I could drive out. Because I put it in reverse, A, so that it's easier to pull the body out, and B, because the back tires would provide propulsion to push up.
Right.
And I open the trunk, I take his body out, I put it in the water, and because I don't want fingerprints on a body, so I just try moving it with my shoes. That works successfully. He goes out some part in the river and floats off.
Okay.
God knows where he is now.
Investigators are still curious to get to the bottom of Brian Cohee's state of mind at the time he committed the murder.
And you talked about you were just kind of in a bad space that night.
It was, yes.
Okay. Why were you in a bad space?
I didn't take my medicine, and plus for years I was wondering what murder would feel like, because you read like Ted Bundy and the Zodiac, they all say murder is the best feeling in the world. So I'm like, I'm going to try that.
Okay.
So for some time I had been wondering when it would happen. I always knew I would be in this building, whether it was as a criminal or a police officer.
Okay.
Because I was planning to go in the military, go into forensics.
Okay. All right.
And
how long do you really, honestly think you've been thinking about really at some point you wanted to know what murder felt like?
A year.
Okay. All right. And you said you've read books.
I read books. I have a book on forensics.
Okay. Did you read the Ted Bundy book?
No, I have not read the Ted Bundy book.
Okay.
I
probably have seen excerpts. Have you seen, like, little comments from it or things like that?
I'm not sure what book you're talking about.
The one you mentioned, the whole stuff about Ted Bundy. A lot has been written.
No, it was on the internet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And Pete has studied him too. Yeah. So.
Crazy.
You seem more like Ed, who had...
Ed Gein?
No, Ed in California. Big Ed.
Ed Kemper.
Yeah. Studied him? You remind me of Ed Kemper.
I know of him. He was a Goliath. He was 6'9", 300 pounds.
So can I ask you a question? Almost all those people did this for some sort of, whether they had sex with the body or it was some sexual gratification in their mind?
Criminology, there's different types of... I'm not a serial killer by no means. But with serial killers, there's different types of them. There's organized, disorganized, visionary, missionary.
I'm just wondering what gets you excited about doing it?
Well, I'm not really sexually attracted to it.
Okay. I was just asking.
It was just curiosity, more or less.
And you said you studied criminology and forensics and all that?
Not college study or school study. It's like a passing interest.
I understand. But what were you worried about, like leaving evidence behind or being caught?
Totally.
Tell me about that and what you did then.
Well, I was figuring the police don't. This is not to be taken offense, but police, they don't seem to care as much about high-risk individuals, homeless people, prostitutes, etc. So I was deliberately looking for someone who lived that type of life.
Okay.
And I found a homeless person, and the original goal was just leave him there. But I was worried about the fibers on the outfit I was wearing that would be on his clothes and stuff. So I deliberately messed up the clothes.
Okay.
Not cutting them up, just throwing them around. And I was worried about just how long it would take to find him, because it's a somewhat traveled road. Eventually someone with the windows down is going to smell something off. The police have a nose for that type of thing. They're trained to be able to identify the smell of a corpse. So that's where the river idea came from, because a river will wash away a lot of evidence. Rivers are quite tricky. And obviously that was botched.
So how long have you been planning or looking for someone to do this with before you found this guy?
About a year.
About a year?
No, 6 months.
So have you come close or seen somebody or chickened out or anything in the past?
No. I mean, I was looking for a deliberately secluded place like that one. I wouldn't just go up in Clifton and find someone walking down the street and stab them. No, that's too public. Everyone sees that.
Well, have you looked like at the homeless places or anything in the past?
I have, yes. I would go on night drives often, maybe once every 2 weeks. And I would just peruse the streets.
Okay. So before this guy, how close have you come in the past?
Not at all.
Not at all? You just drive around and...
Yeah, look, just try and find
someone. Is anybody interesting in your mind thought of a plan?
Well, occasionally when you see girls walking down the street, I take a glance at them, because it really is like Ed Kemper, where half of me says, well, I'm quite inept with women. I'm being honest, I'm no Casanova. But half of me says, I want to take that girl home and make her feel nice. And the other half of me, it's just like what Ed said, is I want to see what her head looks like on a stick. So occasionally when I'm driving down the road, if I see someone that catches my eye, I'll just like...
Were you worried about getting caught while you were doing it, or before you did it?
I was worried about afterwards. Because day and a half, including this day, I felt so anxious. Because not only is my car in the river, there's blood on it, there's body parts in my house, my parents like to look through my things occasionally, and when they see blood, and eventually when they're going to get the news that a body was found in the river, that's very much circumstantial evidence that's pointing to me. So I was very much anxious these past days that I was eventually going to get caught.
Okay. What did you think would happen if you got caught?
Well, I figured my mother would have confronted me about it, but no, she didn't even say it until the police arrived. I thought the police would handcuff me, but apparently I've been cooperational, so.
Detectives' line of questioning moves on to the big question. Why now?
So what in your life has changed, or what in your mind has changed to make you?
I don't know.
Was it like something all of a sudden one day you woke up and thought I'll kill someone, or was it a gradual?
It was gradual, I think. Call me weird, but I think everyone has had thoughts of shooting up their school. I didn't though. And then because of that, I suppose I just don't really like people at all. I don't know.
So thoughts of shooting up the school to today, what has happened?
Well, last year my parents found a kit I had been assembling. It had hammers, shovels, knives, large zip ties, duct tape, saw. That was meant for hurting people. They found it though, and they were ready to call the police until I had convinced them it was via other methods, for other things, like, and it was an ultimatum where if I didn't throw it away, all that, they would call the police, or then I would have been arrested on charges of conspiracy.
And what if he hadn't been caught? Would Brian Cohea have killed again?
If you had not been caught by your folks, what do you think you would have done next?
With the kid?
I don't know. No. Let's talk about like today. If you would have been able to get rid of the head, and your folks did not find it.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
Would you guys have been able to solve it if the body was found in the river, the head and hands were missing, and there were no fingerprints of human hair?
Well, we'd like to think so, but who knows?
Right, who knows? We'd love to think so, but
so let's say we didn't solve it. What happens next?
Then what would you have thought of to do next?
Well, I thought I would have been very careful, because I would have been worried at any moment this could become a cold case, and then it could be solved later on down the line. So I probably would have done it again, because that was just to see what it felt like. And if I had gotten away with it, I would have just kept the secret to the grave.
Brian Cohea's trial, where he pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, lasted for 12 days. Throughout the proceedings, Cohea's attorney argued that his mental illnesses prevented him from knowing right from wrong. But the jury didn't buy it. They deliberated for 2 days before finding him guilty of first-degree murder. Judge Richard Gurley said that in his 37 years in the court system and 16 years as a judge, this was one of the most horrific cases he's ever seen. Cohea was sentenced to life in prison plus 13.5 years with no chance of parole, a far cry from the 15 years he believed he would receive when he was first interrogated. He is currently serving out his sentence at the Buena Vista Correctional Complex in Chaffee County, Colorado, where he will stay for the remainder of his natural life. Brian Cohea thought that he could get away with murder by taking the life of someone he believed wouldn't be worthy of an investigation. He couldn't have been more wrong. Warren Barnes was not only a beloved man in the downtown Grand Junction community, but most importantly, he was a human being who deserved to be treated with the dignity and respect that he offered others. According to the Colorado Sun, Barnes was a lifelong resident of the Grand Valley and told people that he spent time as a cowboy in the Book Cliff Mountains north of Grand Junction. He had a wife, a daughter, and a granddaughter. A sculpture by ironworker Tim Navin of a tree, chair, and stack of books, commissioned by one of the many people whose path intertwined with Barnes, sits in the breezeway outside of Monique's bridal shop where he used to pass the time. His mantra, "And you also," is inscribed on one of the books. The memory of the reading man lives on in downtown Grand Junction, despite a monster's attempt otherwise.